When we think of the many strange beliefs about cats, we probably think of black cats bringing bad luck or that they can see ghosts. But one of the most enduring myths about cats is that they have 9 lives. This myth has been around for hundreds of years, and although there are people who claim their cat has died and come back to life more than once, we're going to try and figure out if this idea is true. So let's ask our question. Do cats really have 9 lives? Hello, it's me, and this is Lie Detector Files, where we investigate extraordinary claims to find out whether they read true or false. For our investigation into the 9 lives of cats, we thought it would be best to begin with the origin of the myth. So we researched the history of the 9 lives of cats to see what we could learn. The belief that cats have 9 lives was not created by any particular person, and no one knows exactly how this myth got started. It is possible that the belief in cats having multiple lives comes from ancient Egypt, where cats were revered as gods, and it was believed they could come back to life after death. In ancient Egyptian culture, cats were associated with the goddess Bastet, who was often depicted as a cat or a woman with a cat's head. Cats were considered sacred animals and were believed to have the ability to heal themselves and were often mummified when they died. Another possible origin of the myth is based on the physical characteristics of cats. Their agility and ability to land on their feet after a fall led some people to believe that they had more than one life. Cats' excellent balance and reflexes allow them to right themselves during a fall so that they land on their feet, which may have contributed to this belief. This is known as the righting reflex, and it's an instinctual response that cats have. It allows them to twist their body mid-air in order to land safely, and it kicks in when they're re-falling from a great height, or if they suddenly change positions. During the Middle Ages, people began to associate cats with witchcraft, and it was believed that cats could live for up to 9 years without food or water. This may have also contributed to the myth. Some people even believed that witches could transform themselves into cats, and that cats could help witches fly on their brooms. In modern times, the myth has persisted through popular culture such as books, movies, and TV shows. One example is the famous cartoon character Tom and Jerry. Tom, the cat, is often shown chasing Jerry the mouse, and he frequently appears to have multiple lives as he survives many dangerous situations. Another example is the popular phrase, "A cat has 9 lives, but a mouse has 10. This saying implies that mice are more numerous than cats, and it highlights the cunning and cleverness of mice, which are known for their ability to escape predators. Now that we know where the myth might have come from, let's see if we can find any evidence that cats really do have 9 lives. To do this, we'll need to look at reports of cats who have had near-death experiences and survived. There have been many stories of cats who have fallen from great heights and lived to tell the tale. A good example is a cat named Tara, who fell from a plane at an altitude of 25,000 feet. She was traveling with her owner when she opened the side window of the plane and jumped out. Despite the incredible height, Tara survived the fall and was found on a beach completely unharmed. There have also been cases of cats surviving house fires. One such case was reported in England in 2014 when a cat named Smokey survived a house fire. She was missing for several days before being found alive in an upstairs bedroom despite the rest of the house being burnt down. In another case in the United States, A cat named Patches survived a house fire in 2018. She had to be rescued from a neighbor's house where she had jumped to escape the fire, and she suffered burns to her paws but made a full recovery. There are even some reports of cats coming back to life after being pronounced dead. One such case was reported in 2017 when a vet in New York pronounced a cat named Patches dead. However, when the vet's assistant went to put the cat's body in a bag, the cat's heart began to beat again. In another case in 2018, a cat named Willow was hit by a car and taken to a vet where she was pronounced dead. However, the vet's receptionist noticed movement in the cat's body, and when she checked for a pulse, she found that the cat was alive. While these stories are certainly impressive, it's important to note that they don't provide concrete evidence that cats have 9 lives. Some of the cats in these stories may have been suffering from a condition called catalepsy, which can cause a person or animal to appear dead when they're actually still alive. Catalepsy is a rare neurological condition that affects the central nervous system, and it can cause symptoms such as muscle rigidity, loss of consciousness, and a slowed heart rate. This can make the affected person or animal appear dead, but in reality, they're still alive. It's also worth noting that cats are very agile and have a strong survival instinct, which could explain why they're able to survive falls from great heights or house fires. Now we've looked at some claims of cats who have had multiple lives. Let's move on to our final piece of evidence. For this investigation, we wanted to see if cats have survived after drowning. This is because cats typically do not like water and are not strong swimmers. If this myth is true, then cats should be able to survive underwater for a long period of time. We searched for reports of cats who had drowned and survived to see if there was any truth to this myth. One case was reported in 2013 in Russia when a cat named Mirka fell through the ice on a frozen lake. The cat was underwater for several minutes, but was eventually rescued and revived by a group of passers-by. In another case, a cat named Mittens in the United States was rescued by her owner after being trapped in a frozen pond in 2015. Mittens had been missing for several days before her owner found her in the pond, and she was eventually able to make a full recovery. However, it is important to note that these cases don't necessarily support the idea that cats have 9 lives. Cats are able to survive for longer periods of time underwater than dogs or humans, but they still need to surface for air at some point. It's possible that in these cases the cats were simply able to hold their breath for longer than typical, but this doesn't prove that they have multiple lives. So now that we've looked at all the evidence, it's time to make a decision. Is the hypothesis that cats have 9 lives true or false? We believe that this hypothesis is false. While there are many stories of cats surviving dangerous situations, there's no concrete evidence that cats have 9 lives. Some of the cases we looked at could be explained by other factors, such as catalepsy or a strong survival instinct. Additionally, while cats are agile and can survive falls from great heights, they cannot breathe underwater and will eventually drown if they're not rescued. What do you think? Do you believe that cats have 9 lives? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. This has been Lie Detector Files. I'm your host. We'll see you next time with a new myth to investigate. Until then, remember to keep an open mind and stay curious.